is a romance told in two voices. The first time Julie Baker saw Bryce Lawsky, she flipped. The first time Bryce saw Julie, he ran. That's pretty much the pattern for these two neighbors until the 8th grade, when, just as Julie is realizing Bryce isn't as wonderful as she thought, Bryce is starting to see that Julia is pretty amazing. How these two teens manage to see beyond the surface of things and come together makes for a comic and poignant romance.
All I've ever wanted is for Julie Baker to leave me alone. For her to back off. Just give me some space. It all started the summer before 2nd grade when our moving van pulled into her neighborhood. And since we're now about done with 8th grade, that, my friend, makes more than a half a decade of strategic avoidance and social discomfort.
The first day I met Bryce Lawsky, I flipped. Honestly, one look at him and I became a lunatic. It's his eyes. Something in his eyes. They're blue and framed in the blackness of his lashes. They're dazzling, absolutely breathtaking. It's been over 6 years now, and I learned long ago to hide my feelings, but those first days. Those first years, I thought I would die for wanting to be with him. 7th grade brought changes. All right, but the biggest one didn't happen at school. It happened at home. Granddad Duncan came to live with us. At first it was kind of weird because none of us really knew him, except for Mom, of course. And even though she spent the past year and a half trying to convince us he's a great guy, from what I can tell, the thing he likes to do best is stare out the front room window. There's not much to see out there except the Baker's front yard. But you can find him there day and night, sitting in a big easy chair they moved in with him, staring out the window.
My problem was, I never got the chance. I came trekking down from the bus stop to find my grandfather doing my good deed. Now, jump back. This was not something I could immediately absorb. My grandfather did not do yard work. At least he never offered to help me out. My grandfather lived in a house slipper. Where did he get those boots? And those jeans? And that flannel shirt? What was up with that? What was the deal with Julie Baker?
And the next afternoon, I was busily expanding the chaos of my little universe when I heard a deep voice say, "That's quite an undertaking, young lady." The man standing on our sidewalk was Bryce's grandfather. I knew that much. But I'd only ever seen him outside one time. All the other times I'd seen him had been through windows, either one in their sitting room or one in their car. To me, he was just a dark-haired man behind glasses. Having him appear on my sidewalk was like having someone from TV step through the screen and talk to you. "I know we've seen each other from time to time," he was saying. "I'm sorry it's taken me over a year to come to introduce myself. I'm Chester Duncan, Bryce's grandfather. And you, of course, are Juliana Baker." Now that you've had a taste of the voices in Flipped, I hope you are intrigued to find out more about Julie and Bryce. And why the chicken? You can find Flipped by Wendelin Van Dranen in the fiction section of the Learning Commons under Van Dranen.